Chapter 9. The Pit. At exactly 5 a.m., an alarm went off. On account of Nick, this was the second time in my life that I'd been up at 5 a.m. The TV flickered, and Nick's face appeared. Morning is for men. Nighttime is for little boys. You're going to see now that all your doors have been unlocked. Get up. Meet me around back. I sprung off the slab of foam mattress and opened the door. Light was just starting to emerge, and I could really see myself again. In 4 short days, I already must have lost at least 6 pounds. Finally, I saw the 6 other men emerge outside their doors too. Like me, they looked withered and anxious. Still a bit weary from the fast, we all stumbled around to the back of the motel. There, behind the motel, was a big hole in the ground. It was a circular hole about 20 feet deep, with a diameter of what looked to be about 25 feet. There was also a shitty ladder that looked like it was ready to break, that led down to the bottom. And then, there was something that made me absolutely sick to my stomach. At the backside of the pit were 7 tombstones, and one of them had my fucking name on it. Below my name and all the other names was an epitaph that read, "He did nothing." What the fuck? Standing before the pit in the chilly morning dew, Nick and some other men appeared from the trees. As they approached, Nick leaned on and looked down at the tombstones and smiled. Slung around Nick's shoulder was an assault rifle. Nick then pointed his gun at us and calmly said, "Everyone, get the fuck in the pit." We climbed down the rickety ladder into the pit. Once we were all in, Nick grabbed the ladder from above and lifted it out of the pit. There was no way out. "You," Nick pointed at the man beside me. "Your new name is Job. And you," pointed at another man across from me, "you'll be Adam. For the next 3 minutes, and not a second longer, you two will be fighting each other. But there are rules. No eye gouging, no headbutting, no shots to the dick. If a man is knocked out or taps out, the fight is over. And when the fight is over, the ladder will be returned, and you can all come out." Nick again scoffed his signature chuckle. "You probably thought I was going to teach you how to throw a jab and a hook, or some martial arts bullshit. No, you're all fucking human beings. You already know how to fight. It's in each and every one of you. You've just never let it out. Your ancestors, they went to war and fought, and in many cases, died for you to be here. Now, today, here in the pit, we will honor them and show them that we are still warriors." There was a moment of tense silence as the 2 men who were supposed to fight just looked at each other. Nick let out a loud whistle with his lips and yelled, "Fight!" The 2 men still looked at each other in shock, frozen, not engaging one another. About 10 seconds went by. Nick rolled his eyes, shook his head. He walked closer to the edge of the pit, aimed the gun, and fired a shot into the pit at the hesitant combatant's feet. "Fight!" he yelled. For the next 2 minutes and 30 seconds, the men did just that. They fought. It was a sloppy fight. The pit was muddy and hard to get solid footing in. Punches were untimed and often missed. But there were a few good ones that did land. There was some wrestling to the ground, some hammer fists. After the 2 minutes and 30 seconds, the men were exhausted. Neither had the energy to continue. Shortly after, Nick again whistled. "Well, congratulations. You just had your first fight. Pathetic, albeit, but your first fight nonetheless," Nick said. As promised, he lowered the ladder back down into the pit, and one after another, we climbed out. "Gym time," Nick said, smiling. Follow me." Nick and his posse started walking towards that small barn, which was about 200 yards behind the motel, but still outside the Freedomite community. Nick opened the barn door. We gathered around him. Inside the barn were animals and tons of old farming equipment. You were expecting a fancy gym? Imagine being so stupid that you pay someone just to work hard, said Nick, continuing to laugh. No, your workout will be actual fucking work that produces something. Working out in the fucking gym? That's masturbation. Yeah, maybe it feels good, but what are the fruits of your labor? Nothing. I'm gonna give you the same exercise, except there will be fruits. Food, sustenance, life. So today, and for the next while, you're not going to be at your little computer sending emails and faxing copies and having progress meetings. No. You'll be doing man's work, tending and maintaining God's land and animals. Guess what? When God made Adam and Eve, he told them, have babies and take care of the earth. You lot have done neither. That changes today. The babies you'll work on later if I let you. But for now, you'll fulfill God's second wish. You'll return to the land and be stewards of this great earth. That, my friends, will be your exercise. And hard work, natural exercise, is the ultimate form of Lesson 2, self-respect. After Nick's rant, I clued in that Ava had told me the same dogma about the meaning of life and Adam and Eve. Nick handed out a list of different jobs for the day. Each of us were to work in pairs. I was assigned animal care with the man who had just fought, Job. Seeing him now closer, I recognized Job was actually Steve, the guy who was with Leah in Willow Creek Park that day. Dude, are you good? I said. Yeah, man, I'm all right. I'd never been in a fight before. Honestly, I'm sore, but I feel kind of good. We glanced down at the list together. Animal care tasks were as follows. 1. Feeding and watering. Ensure all livestock, cows, chickens, pigs, sheep, have fresh food and water. 2. Milking. Milk all dairy cows. 3. Cleaning. Clean barns, stables, and pens. 4. Egg collection. Gather all eggs from the coops. 5. Maintenance. Repair the broken fence boards on pens. As a city boy working a corporate job, I'd obviously never farmed before. But we did it, with the guidance of one of Nick's men. He showed us how to restock feed, milk the cows properly, and the rest of it. After the day's work, I was absolutely exhausted. Everything hurt. Nick brought us to the nearby pond to jump in and clean off, but only the men who had fought that day and were given their new names were allowed to jump in. It was baptismal. Before they jumped in, Nick had them stripped down fully naked. I could tell they were ashamed and covered up their body. "Remove your hands," yelled Nick. "Stand before your brothers and feel the shame that Adam and Eve gave you. Reveal yourselves completely." Reluctantly, the men did so. We watched as they jumped in naked for a plunge. There was no way that water could be warm. The rest of us were forced to return to the motel, still covered in the day's stench. Upon arriving at the motel, the door was unlocked, and there was dinner waiting for me. Dinner was the first and only meal of the day. Nick wanted us to feel hunger daily. At night, still I had no cell phone, no laptop, no video games. For the first time in 15 years, I didn't even think about jacking off. I couldn't. Nick, and apparently God, were watching me. The only thing I really could do was read the Bible Nick left for us. 1 Samuel 17. I read,